When Kiddy launched the original Pixel, I was enamored by its industrial look, its small footprint. However, I was concerned about the small size of it. Having used Ambernix RG Nano, I discovered that sometimes things can be a little too small, but I decided to give it a chance because I had liked Leo Zhang's previous work, and I figured let's give it a try. I was very happy I did, although there were some issues with the original Pixel. For one, it had a super ancient CPU. In the world of computers, anything more than 4 or 5 years old is ancient. And this used one that was no longer being used by any modern retro handheld. It also was stuck on closed source firmware. Along came developers like Moto, who ingeniously helped improve the experience. We posted a guide, go check it out if you have an original Pixel, to make it much better. It also suffered from some charging issues, some weird things that were going on with it. While its sleek industrial design was amazing and it felt great to hold and was perfect for one-handed JRPGs, we knew there could be better. Now, fast forward to 2025, and we now have its successor with some changes, some that could be a bit controversial. Today, we're going to take a look and do our review, having used it for a week now, and talk about those changes and what we liked and what we thought could have been done a little better. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this change. It has become my go-to everyday carry. Yes, even more so than the Trim UI brick. It is a very good product with some caveats, as always. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our content. But let's dive in and start. Shh. Come here. Shh. Did you know that there is fluoride in our water? Did you know they're putting fluoride in our water? Every day you drink water, you're getting fluoride. And RFK says to, no, wait, I'm not a conspiracy nut, but I do think fluoride is okay in your toothpaste. Hey, deadheads, welcome back to the channel. Or welcome to the channel for the first time, new deadheads. Today, we're taking a look at the Kiddy Pixel 2. All right, guys, so let's start with the first big thing, the physical dimensions of this thing. It is now wider. It is about the same height, so the height has not really changed. And the thickness of it has changed a little bit as well. It's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit wider, but it's about the same height. Now, this gives it the ability to still be very pocketable. I know that some people have really complained because they like to play this one-handed. And while admittedly with my small to medium hands, I did notice a slight difference in trying to reach the entire unit one-handed. It is not enough to overcome the improvement that we got. The reason this thing is physically a little bigger is because it's an improved screen. We now have double the resolution. So this is double the resolution of the original, giving this a nice high-res look, which is crisp and beautiful. And the processor, the new processor, has allowed us to play some emulation that previously we weren't going to be able to play, such as Dreamcast. So those two things are a perfect trade-off in my mind versus the dimensions that we had to change in order to get this trade-off for it. I am going to say for me, I'm okay with the trade-off. I ideally would have loved if it could have just been this again, because it is so very compact. But for me, I don't think this additional size is that much a difference, especially since the screen itself looks bigger. It looks more appropriate for 4.3 content. I like it. Now, the other design difference is in the buttons. So for some reason, and I don't have clarity on this, I've tried to reach out to get clarity, the buttons are slightly larger. That's a good thing. However, the buttons switched from metal on the original Pixel 1 to plastic. Now, that is not a huge difference. Some people really like metal. I like the metal. Now, if you do get the limited edition gold handset, which only could be obtained initially if you bought the complete set, as I did, it does have full metal buttons, including metal on the shoulders. Now, some people are a bit disappointed. I like saving costs. We traded up to a better processor, okay, a bigger screen. Well, not bigger, a higher resolution screen. And we tried to keep this price in the same price range. So I understand the trade offs. I understand some people are disappointed. But if you really want all metal, hopefully you can find one of these like I did. The other great improvement here is they added a rumble motor. The first time I was playing on this thing and it vibrated, I was very impressed with it. I couldn't remember if the original had a motor or not, but I checked and it does not. So vibration is another addition to this. Again, keeping that cost within basically the same cost as the original. So again, trade-offs here, the buttons not being metal all the way, the screen size and everything like that. We're getting a whole lot in return for about what they were charging for the original one. Continuing on with improvements is the fact that we now can do shaders. The original CPU was quite limited. It was a much older CPU. Now that we're using a 3326S, has the S, 3326, we're like, 3226, but it's good for this, guys. We have the ability to run Dreamcast. We have some shaders that are working. It has improved the experience of this with this double the resolution screen. It is a good experience. I would even like to point out in my testing that the old man, yes, the old man was able to actually see and read text a few feet away from him on this. And he was equally impressed with the clarity of the screen, even though this thing is so tiny and small. Now, while resellers like Keep Retro and eventually AliExpress will be selling this, there is not an official international release quite yet. However, they have released an OS update that has been customized for the English audience. It was posted by Rex on the server not too long ago. And I wanted to talk about this stock software. It has a dual boot option. It's got Rocknix, but it also has their IUX version 2.5. Now, IUX is still limited. It's still not my cup of tea, but it's nice that it has it on there. But the fact that you can boot into Emulation Station through Rocknix is a very good thing. Also, this thing is shipping with the English ROMs, and they are organized in a really good way. I really like how they've organized them. Now, it's a little controversial if you think that these things should be shipped with ROMs or not. However, the English translation version of it has all of the ROMs translated as well into English in a nice organized way. So I want to give bonus points to that. It is a nice system for it, although custom firmware is where this thing is really going to shine, because we finally have some support from GKD and Lao Zhang to open this up. And we have the first one, PlumOS. Now, I just installed PlumOS on this, and while developer Moto has made some statements that he's not going to delve deep into this, he has released an alpha of PlumOS, which has some quality of life improvements, especially an awesome equalizer and a pixel update. So you need to look at this, check it out, get a PlumOS. We have more custom firmware coming. This has been sent to several developers out there who are supposedly working on it. So hopefully we'll see a lot more custom firmware for this. However, unlike the original, this one has some good firmware to start with. It is good. It's Emulation Station running on Rocknix underneath. So not too shabby. And of course, with custom firmware comes awesome stuff like the ability to play Pico 8 and Portmaster. This thing is playing Portmaster, guys, and it is a beautiful experience. Another Metroid remake. I have been playing that on this. Oh my God, with that high resolution screen, the pocketability of this, the easy to pick up and play with Rocknix to put it into sleep mode, turn it back on. It is a joy. It is a lot of fun. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. Now, other handsets like the Trim UI Brick can do that. But again, this is a premium metal, industrial based, nice looking, well designed, pocketable, smaller handheld that has a very good screen on it. So I am very satisfied with the changes that have happened to this so far. Now, that's not to say this thing is perfect. Let's talk about some of the things that we found to be a little bit unfavorable. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about our sponsor today, AliExpress. Our friends at AliExpress recently sent us this Trim UI Brick charging dock. But wait, it gets even better. This charging dock also has a grip which fits into the charging dock as well. This makes it very versatile. It's magnetic, which means you can simply push and pull the dock apart to have the grip. So for very quick charging sessions, you can walk around and play with it or stick it back on the dock. It is so great. It also has color matching and it's made of good quality material. Hit the link in the description if you'd like to pick one of these things up for yourself. It is a must-have, I think, for anybody that wants to keep their magnetic charging dock with their Trim UI Brick Smart Pro in check. Anyways, back to the video. All right, as we conclude this review, let's talk about some of the things that maybe could be improved for the next version of the Pixel, or maybe some things that, just didn't quite impress us in this handset. Now, that being said, this is impressive overall. I would like to see a second SD card slot. Now, MinUI is not going to be supported on this, and one of the reasons is because the developer has stated that any handheld going forward that does not have the OS reside on the internal eMMC or only has one slot, which is the case for this, they're not going to port to it. So basically, you try to use this without any SD card and nothing happens. Now, there are other handhelds that only have one SD card slot, but they'll turn on because the OS lives on the device. So this one relies on the OS living completely on the SD card. And since there's only one SD card slot, they're not going to support it. So I'd like to see a second slot put on this. Now, there's a very limited amount of space, and I do understand that that may be a concern for it. However, if they can find a way to do that in the future, I think that would be a lot better. Secondly, no Wi-Fi. After we approached, the $50 to $60 range what this thing is in, we'd like to see Wi-Fi become standard. You have the Miu A30 with Wi-Fi, and that thing's regularly coming in at $30. So Wi-Fi in a metal device is always questionable. There are ways to do it. So I understand the argument for that. However, I think overall, if this thing could have had built-in Wi-Fi, it would have been nice. Maybe this is an engineering problem I'm not aware of. Leave me a comment if you know that. I would also like to see the brick screen. That is an even higher resolution, a bit bigger screen. Come on, Game Kiddy, let's do a Pixel Plus. Now, I know you did have the GKD Mini. I understand that, but I think this form factor, the same industrial form factor, the same shape and everything, let's just make it 3.2 inches. This thing is already the same width as the Trim UI Brick. If you have them together, it's the same width. So just extend it a little bit, give it that bigger screen, and I think we'd be golden. That being said, I like this a lot. I'm looking forward to custom firmware. This thing is going to be better. I think once again at the end of the year, this is going to be one of the best handhelds. And it really matters on, can they deliver? Can they get this thing manufactured? Can they get it to come out on time? Because I know people get frustrated on waiting. I know a lot of you are still waiting to get your unit, and I hope you get it soon because this is a wonderful handset. I have nothing but praise for this. There is, of course, always wishes and things I would like to do better, but this is a good, at $60, a great handset. Now, that's if you're in China. Overseas, you're having to pay closer to 80 to 90. But again, that price could drop over time if this thing is supported and it sells very well. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about it. To sum it up, we have a higher resolution screen, we have Rumble, we have super good software support along with custom firmware support. We have a beautiful bright screen. We have an industrial design that is awesome, a metal shell. We have a lot of favorability. We have improved charging on this thing. There's a lot here to like about this. If you did not like the original Pixel, you're not probably going to like this, okay? This is probably not going to change your mind because this is really a refinement, a reiteration of the original is what this is. So if you found it to be too small, you found it to be just not pleasant, then let me know. I'm looking super forward to you, Joey. I want to know what you think when you get yours because I know you're not a fan of really small items. So I'm very curious to see if this one somehow captures your attention a little more. So it'll be interesting to see your video once it drops. Anyways, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this review. We're going to do some more Pixel coverage in the future. Let me know in the comments what things you'd like to see so we can do it. Again, very happy with it. Game Kiddy, keep going, keep pushing, keep innovating. I think you're a competitor and I'd like to see you keep competing. Anyways, guys, remember to hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones because tomorrow is never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Stay safe and stay warm. Dead Fred out.